started, I want to give all praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors unto the apostles and others of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect out there teaching the truth across the four corners of the earth, as well as the men and women that follow, and those who might look like the other nations but are of the nation of Israel on their father's side by blood. And I just want to get started with this precept right here. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 24. It says, "But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people." All right, so let me grab the etymology of welfare real quick. It says, condition of being or doing well, uh, get along, social concern for the well-being of children, the unemployed, organized effort to provide for maintenance of members of a group. So it says it goes down to well. It says in a satisfactory manner, Salakia. So pretty much being able to take care of a situation for the goodness of it, in the sense of it being prosperous, in the sense of it being safe, in the sense of it being fair. All right. As we sit here in this society, we see it's pretty much a dog eat dog world. You know, now when the Lord takes this kingdom out and gives us our kingdom and establish us, the world will get back to how it's supposed to be. Okay, as the scriptures say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is it that followeth, and that's why we had to come from the bottom to the top, and Lord willing, we be of that number. And once we receive the kingdom, all right, and what are we going to do? We're going to teach the ways of Yahawah Shem Yahweh Shai, all right, because when you read throughout the scriptures, he has his law, statutes, and commandments for the welfare of us. Okay, so the world is going to end up having this as well. It's not going to be any wicked rulers, any selfish rulers in power. The Lord is going to give it unto the men that he has chosen from the beginning, so they can be the government, so they can establish, right? Establish the welfare of the world. And as the precept also said at the end of it, a wise king is the upholding of the people. And we know who's going to be king. We're going to have Yahawashi and King David. All right, and on down, man. Okay, but with us being joint heirs with Yahawashi, right? We can't lose through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, man. Okay, so I ended up this jumped on my spirit because at my job, those of you might, watch a couple of my videos, a lot of things happen in my job, and it just kind of reminds me of the scriptures. It's my life, just as any of us. All right. But so I was on second shift, and I would come in, let's say we got a certain amount of units that needs to be done. Well, first shift would do, let's say we got 40,000, they would do like 50,000. Salakia, they would do like 15,000, which leaves me with 25,000, right? And you can get through 25,000 in a 10-hour shift, depending on the machine and how well that's running. But if I don't get done, then I get hit with a 2-hour notice. So what I'm saying is there's no consequence to first shift if they somewhat underperform. And I say somewhat underperform because we get paid by the hour, not by, the units. All right. So if they come in and don't really feel like doing anything or just kind of lollygagging, and they will produce less, which will be more on the second shift, which will have the consequence of getting a 2-hour notice. And we were supposed to get off and do a 10-hour, and this is like, as long as they let 2 hours before you're supposed to get off, then you have to stay those 2 hours, right? And if you leave, there's penalties and consequences for that as well. So when I was on second shift, it would seem like they just be, lollygagging on first shift. Well, the Spirit actually had it to where I ended up on first shift. I'm not going to say it was for that reason, but it did allow me to see what goes on first shift, right? But the other day, like my mind, even though I understand how they sometimes get about half, because it seemed like they would do like half most of the time. It's like, won't y'all just keep going? But me being on first shift and really thinking about it now, through the Spirit, it's like the Lord is showing me, the other side of it. Okay, so even now I come in on first shift, and it's like my whole goal is to get as much done so second shift don't have to deal with that consequence, because I know what it feel like, right? Um, so the other day there was a lot going on, and pretty much we wasn't going to produce as much as we would want or thought we could, which will leave a lot on second shift. And there was a guy that came up to me, and he pretty much said like, good thing you on first shift, because there's no consequence. It's not like, if we, now that I'm on first shift, if we don't get a certain amount of number done, they don't give us a 2 hour notice unless we're like days behind. Then they'll force us to come in 2 hours early, but even coming in early, you know they have to do that. They got to give us an 8 hour heads up. If you're on second shift and you get that 2 hour notice, it's like 2 hours before you're supposed to get off. So you expecting to get done and do this, and then boom, you get hit with that. So it's just a little difference. But the mindset of not caring about the people that comes after really bothered me, man. And the Spirit put on me Second Ezra, the 14th chapter, which I'll read right now. Let me find that good spot. 19. So this is Second Ezra 14 and 19. It says, Then answered I before thee and said, Behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? Thus the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. So he was like, all right, I can go and warn the people about what's coming now, but what about the ones who are going to be born after, this generation? It says, verse 21, For thy law is burnt, therefore no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. But if I have found grace, Salakia, but if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Spirit into me, and I shall write all that had been done in the world since the beginning, which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live, because it gives us an opportunity to find that path and follow the light through the Spirit of YAHAWASHI. So Ezra wasn't worried about his shift, so to speak, I would say. He didn't mind, instead of just worrying about his generation. He like, well, man, what about the people that come after? And it says, verse 23, it says, And he answered me, saying, Go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not for 40 days. But look thou, prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Saraya, Debria, Salemia, Acanis, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly, and come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thy heart, which shall not be put out till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. And when thou hast done, some things shalt thou publish, and some things shalt thou show secretly to the wise. Tomorrow this hour shalt thou begin to write. So as you can see, that was he was worried about the welfare of the generations that come after. Like, okay, we have this. I've seen what happened in my generation. They burnt up your law. So the people that come after, they need to find a way as well. And like the scriptures speak about, dang, what is it? Let me see. It's like right there. I think it's Romans 12 and 4. Oh, the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning, just roughly paraphrasing it. And that's what it is. So from that point on, him writing those books, all right, and right, and allowing us to know what was from the beginning, through the Spirit, the generation after, until it was passed down and translated all the way down into our generation. And it's a beautiful thing because it had to happen like that. The Lord had it happen like that, so we would be able to come back to that path, man. Okay, because if that was the case, let's just say hypothetically he didn't have that mindset. Let's say hypothetically he had the mindset of the guy at my job that's just worried about first shift and not caring about second shift. Well, if he had that mindset, then technically we would be caught in a jam. We wouldn't be able to receive this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hypothetically, right? Of course, the Lord has miracles and he do what he do. But just saying, if that was the case, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have the